The following wrestling simulation requires discretionary viewer participation. Good morning, I am Benoit, welcoming everybody to another edition of Fire Pro Wrestling Championship Wrestling. These matches are sanctioned and supervised by the Steam Workshop Alliance, courtesy of Fire Pro Wrestling World and the Carlzilla Mod Pack. We're kicking things off this week with Hulk Hogan taking on Roman Reigns. I'm sure this is a dream match of absolutely nobody. However, it is their first Fire Pro Wrestling singles match since debuting back at the Valentine's Day Battle Royal. You know, it's tough to get a spot on these cards as we only do Championship Wrestling every week. So if any of these edits want to keep appearing, they need to win. So they're both looking to get their first W on the book since neither of them won the Battle Royal. Leg is hooked for the pin. Both men multiple-time world champions, just of completely different eras. Now, last time Hulk Hogan was even on a WWE event, I don't remember if it was a WrestleMania or like a Saturday night's main event or whatever, but I know he showed up to shill his beer and got booed out of the damn arena. Leg drop, that's got to be all. It is not, because Roman Reigns is not his bitch. Now, I know I'm not supposed to be biased, but let's be real. When I was a kid growing up, I was a huge fan of Hulk Hogan. But then by the time I became a teenager, I realized, wait a minute, this guy's stick is just, ugh. And he began to annoy me. As for Roman Reigns, I don't really know a whole lot about him, except that he made his debut as a member of the Shield, which is quite a popular stable nowadays, despite the fact they've been disbanded for about a decade or so. Actually, probably longer than a decade at this point. And when Roman Reigns was training, it wasn't NXT at the time. I think it was Florida Championship Wrestling. He went by the name Leaki. Or Leaki? Could be mispronouncing that. Nice exploder suplex there. He is the tribal chief, a member of the same family of Samoans as, you know, The Rock, Yokozuna, Afa, all them. Is that how you pronounce it, Gory? Because Leotard? I don't know. Anyway, we have I was going to say test of strength, but no, it's a battle of the fists. Which it looks like, oh, Roman Reigns is going to win there with a Superman punch. Roman already kicked out of the atomic leg drop. Is Hulk Hogan going to try to go for it again? Because not too many people have kicked out of that leg drop. Spear! Is Roman going to go for his real name is, I don't know if I can pronounce that right, but he is an N-O-Y-E. Leg is hooked, and it looks like Roman Reigns. No! I was about to give the victory to Roman there. Going for a submission now. Body wrap there as he has almost a bit of a front face lock, but a choke rather instead locked in. A guillotine. Hogan with Leati. Okay. Leati. Big DDT once again going for that choke. Hogan able to get to the ropes. Hogan is, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", or more like 6'3" if you want to believe him when he says all those years of doing leg drops have messed his spine up. Which, to be fair, I believe. Sounds plausible enough. Could be truth to it. Big boot. Hogan with the leg drop, but this time to the back of Leati's head. But Roman Reigns in the ropes. Gonna get the break on that. How you doing, Gory? We already have some big matches here coming up signed for Easter Sunday. Oh, gravity does shrink you. As a matter of fact, a lot of those astronauts who've been in space have had their bone density actually shrink a little bit because of lack of gravity. Roman Reigns with a big spear this time from the corner. That's it. 1, 2, 3. It's academic, like ABC. 1, 2, 3, like Michael Jackson. Roman Reigns gets the victory over the immortal Hulk Hogan in this opening contest here on Championship Wrestling. Now, up next, we got some ladies action here as Rhea Ripley is going up against Leilani Kai, one half of the Glamour Girls. Rhea already had beaten Judy Martin weeks ago. I'd have to look back at the record to see when, but I do know that come Easter Sunday, Rhea Ripley is going to be going one-on-one against Mad Maxine, another woman brought into FPW via the fabulous Moolah. Now, Mad Maxine has some height on Rhea Ripley, as Mommy is quite tall. I believe about 5'9", 5'10", if I'm correct about that. But Mad Maxine is like 6'4". So there's going to be some big ladies in the ring Easter Sunday. We got an old lady out at ringside, fabulous Moolah. There. Now, the fabulous Moolah has not been too happy with things. And I don't just mean giving Rhea Ripley, you know, and her dominance here in the women's division, nor the fact that Rhea Ripley helped turn, as Moolah likes to say, turn Mildred Burke, her teacher, against her. But also, she's had a bit of a problem here with Leilani Kai and Judy Martin, as the Glamour Girls have recently lost 2 tag team matches in a row, one against Mildred Burke and Toni Storm back at the Gold Rush, but recently the Asian Invasion as well. So if Leilani wants to stay on, or, well, try to get back on Moolah's good side, she's going to have to put up a good showing, if not win this match here today against Rhea Ripley. Oh, yeah, Halloween Havoc, 1997. I remember that match vividly. Eddie Guerrero going against Rey Mysterio. That was an amazing match. Full Nelson there on Mommy. Mommy likes to use those arms for that finisher she calls the Riptide. Makes me think of surfing. Or no, Riptide. Was it Riptide? Double underhook into a nice butterfly suplex with authority. I believe Riptide was also a 1986 album by Robert Palmer. Body splash. Oh, almost got the win there. Just given the record of these two ladies, you would have to think it'd be an upset, as not only would she be beating Rhea Ripley, but beating an undefeated, as of now, in Fire Pro Wrestling, Rhea Ripley. Riptide, the TV. I'm not familiar with that show, but I'm pretty sure that's a Robert Palmer album. Matter of fact, I think I own that album. Fucking, I love Addicted to Love. Oh, and speaking of Riptide, there it is. 1, 2, 3. No! Oh, Leilani kicked out of the Riptide. Moolah was about to scream at the referee about a fast count. Look at that. Okay, typical 80s cop show. That makes sense. There were so many, 70s and 80s had so many cop shows. Who was, somebody speculated that there were so many cop shows in the 70s and 80s because generally society was wanting law and order due to, I don't remember enough to even try to articulate what it was about, but there was some kind of reason he speculated on that sounded quite plausible to me. Front face lock there. Trying to keep Rhea away from the ropes. Goes for the cover. Oh, Miami Vice was such a huge sensation in the 80s. Speaking of the 80s, that's when Leilani Kai was a former WWF Women's Champion. Leilani Kai actually lost that Women's Championship to Wendy Richter at the very first WrestleMania back in 1985. Mommy with the sexy pin. Oh, and a decapitation lariat, but it is not a true decapitation because Leilani still has her head. Leilani comes from, Hawaii. And that's all the information you need on Leilani, other than she lost this match to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley remains undefeated and will be going undefeated up against Mad Maxine Easter Sunday. Now we have some tag team action as there's an Evolution reunion with Batista and Randy Orton taking on the brothers Hart, Bret and Owen. This actually started back on February 14th in that big battle royal. Bret Hart was eliminated from the battle royal by Batista, but in a repeat from the 1997 Royal Rumble, it was after Batista was technically eliminated. See, Batista got thrown out of the ring, but the referee did not catch it, so he was able to sneak back in and get some more eliminations a la Stone Cold Steve Austin in 1997. The first of those eliminations was the Hitman, Bret Hart. And so now it's going to be Bret Hart challenging Batista on Easter Sunday. But before then, we're going to have a preview match here as Owen Hart gets suplexed out of the ring. Batista goes for a barbed wire wrapped bat, only to end up falling on it. Owen Hart and Bret Hart actually did team up briefly in the WWF, late 93, early 94. Although that did not end well. Nice schoolboy roll up there. They did then team later on in 1997 when Bret revived the Hart Foundation as a stable. And now they're teaming up again for the first time here in Fire Pro Wrestling. Owen, former 1994 King of the Ring. Randy Orton was also... Randy Orton was a former Royal Rumble winner himself. As Owen premiered during the Gold Rush tournament. Actually, Randy Orton, Batista, and Bret Hart was part of the Big Battle Royal. We got an exchange there. Owen Hart was the only men of these four to not become a world champion. Bret Hart, 5-time WWF champion, a couple-time WCW champion. Nice fall away slam. Oh. I bet these two would put on a good match if it ever happened. Bret Hart forced to retire in the year 2000 thanks to Bill Goldberg. Whereas Randy Orton is still wrestling to this day. And of course, we all know what happened back in May of 1999, unfortunately, to Owen Hart. May he rest in peace. Oh, nice pop up into a neck breaker there. Randy Orton bringing him back to his partner Batista. Both former members of Evolution. That lasted from 2002 to 2004. Pile driver. Too close to Orton, though. I think he's going to be able to break that up, and he does. Orton with them Ron Garvin-esque stomps across the body. You know, Bret, being a technician, does like to work over the body, but generally it's the legs in the back in preparation for that sharpshooter. Orton not really known for his submissions. Bret tags back out to Owen. He does have... Oh, Owen who gets... Oh, a reverse chokeslam. Which is not enough to keep the Rocket down. I was going to say Randy Orton loves his version of the Ace Crusher, the RKO. Up, sharpshooter there into Batista. Bret coming in to make sure it doesn't get broken up by Randy Orton, but Batista's able to power out of it. Imagine if Batista submits to Owen right before his match against Bret. You know, the card is always subject to change here in Fire Pro. Oh. Honestly, I think that referee should not have made the count there, but he went for it anyway. Maybe he's trying to make up for the fact that Batista, his elimination was not called when it initially should have back on February 14th. Still, you can't use actions from a previous match to dictate how you respond to a modern match. Okay, Bret and Randy, that... Catch me if you can. Another reverse chokeslam there. Randy. Oh, I think he might be setting up for that RKO. And he hit it. That's got to be all, folks. It is! Oh, Bret Hart gets defeated by Randy Orton. Well, I guess the card may be subject to change, so tentatively speaking, Batista versus Bret on Easter Sunday. Tentatively speaking. We got the debuting Joe Gomez here going up against Giant Haystacks. Now, you see Big Daddy there at ringside here. You see back, what was it? When was it? Let me look back here. All I know is I don't believe it was during the Gold Rush. No, it was actually back on February 14th, I believe, that Giant Haystacks defeated his former friend turned rival in Big Daddy. And so Big Daddy decided maybe he should start teaming up with his former teammate there. As both Big Daddy, who went by a different name, I don't remember what offhand, but Big Daddy in his early career did team with Giant Haystacks, and now they're going to be teaming up again. And so now Giant Haystacks says, you know what, Daddy? When Fire Pro Wrestling started, back on January 1st, back on New Year's Day, Big Daddy defeated Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash, or Big Sexy Kevin Nash. And so Giant Haystack said, you know what? You beat Kevin Nash. I want to beat Kevin Nash. And so on Easter Sunday, it's going to be the Giant Haystacks taking on Kevin Nash. But first he has to go through the debuting Joe Gomez, who perennial undercarder, if not jobber to the stars back in WCW. You know, Giant Haystacks had a very, very brief, and I mean very, very brief run in WCW. I believe he went by the name Loch Ness and was part of Jimmy Hart, or not Jimmy Hart's, but Kevin Sullivan's Dungeon of Doom. You know, the fans are not happy with Big Daddy teaming up with Giant Haystacks again. But let's be real, these two men could be dominant in the tag team division given their size. Big elbow drop there. 1, 2. No, Joe Gomez still has some fight. Desperado he used to go by. Man, Giant Haystacks is so big, even the game had to slow down a little bit for that. Lateral press. This time it's enough. Giant Haystacks make quick work of Joe Gomez. What's he going to be able to do when he goes up against Kevin Nash on Easter Sunday? Tune in to find out. Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels in this first singles match here in Fire Pro Wrestling. He made his debut back in that big battle royal, thanks to sensational sister Sherri. She went back to her former boy toy despite everything that went down in 92 and 93. You know, she has a bit of a love-hate relationship there with HBK. Similarly to Colonel Rob Parker in WCW, but anyway. Sherri wants it all. She wants to manage both the tag team, which she does in Harlem Heat, and a singles wrestler, which she now does here in Shawn Michaels. And she also wants to wrestle herself, so don't be surprised if we see her in some more matches coming up here. You know, but as for Shawn Michaels, you know, multiple-time WWF champion, now there's going to be an SWA Heavyweight Championship, and you know that the Heartbreak Kid is going to want him some of that too. Some may say it was a boyhood dream of his, but right now he's dealing with George South, who took him over with a second back body drop. You know, a lot of buzz is going on there about that SWA Heavyweight Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kurt Angle. Battle Royal winner versus Gold Rush winner. Got a lot of other matches, too, up on that card, and we're going to run that down here before the end of today's championship wrestling. DDT. Trap toe hold. Shawn Michaels loves that super kick, that sweet shin music. Although that was not initially his finisher. He did use savate kicks as part of the Rockers, and even in the beginning of his solo tenure. However, initially, he used a version of the Saito suplex that he called the teardrop suplex. Matter of fact, in the first ever episode of Monday Night Raw, he defended his Intercontinental Championship against Max Moon by defeating him with that teardrop suplex. And it was not the main event, mind you, or at least it wasn't the last match on the card, as the last match was The Undertaker defeating Damian Demento. Speaking of The Undertaker, he is going to be going up against King Kong Bundy on Easter Sunday. Another WrestleMania streak rematch. Of course, it's going to be a Giant Haystacks as well, taking on Kevin Nash. The SWA Heavyweight Championship, Austin versus Angle. We're going to have Bret Hart taking on Batista. Despite the fact that earlier in the event we saw Randy Orton get the pin on the Hitman here, and looks like Shawn Michaels is going to get the pin here on George South. That's all she wrote. We have not seen Brock Lesnar since his dominant performance in the Big Battle Royal, where he got 3 eliminations. But he's back now on Championship Wrestling. And he's got Paul Heyman alongside with him. You know, there's a lot of wrestlers who've been doing a lot of talking now that there's going to be a championship determined here on April Sunday. And Paul Heyman has been saying that Brock should be in the title hunt. Although he's going to have to put a couple of wins under his belt if he wants to do it. And according to Paul Heyman, just like before in 2002, Brock Lesnar is going to take on everybody who gets in his way to that SWA Heavyweight Championship. Right now, though, he has Tony St. Clair to go up against. Oh, Brock may or may not have been a major inspiration for an edit of yours. Well, I've noticed somebody keeps making edits. They throw them up on Reddit who are clearly inspirations, if not parodies, of actual wrestlers. Boston Crab there by Tony St. Clair. Tony St. Clair, last time we saw him, he put up a hell of a fight there against Giant Haystacks. Of course, Giant Haystacks is already going to be taking on Kevin Nash here Easter Sunday. Brock Lesnar is currently not booked for that card. Neither is Tony St. Clair. Backslide. Nice fireman's carry there. Brock going back to his amateur roots. Although I wouldn't really consider a fireman's carry an amateur-ish move. Double underhook. Up and over. Tony St. Clair, man, a veteran of the world of sport. I got to get more World of Sports guys in here. Big spear by Brock. La Magistral. La Magistral. I can barely speak English, and here I am using Spanish words. Remember, it's this Sunday, guys. This coming Sunday, Easter Sunday, we're going to find out who that SWA Heavyweight Champion's going to be. It's Kurt Angle, a man who was very familiar with Brock Lesnar, is taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin. A man who actually was planned to be scheduled up against Brock Lesnar in a King of the Ring qualifier back on Raw, but he chose not to take part in it. And that's what actually led to Stone Cold Steve Austin leaving the WWF in 2002. And we would never again really get to see them in the ring until WrestleMania 21, where Stone Cold Steve Austin was the special guest referee in a match between Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg. Boy, the Madison Square Garden crowd let everybody know how they felt in that match. Nice reversal of that vertical suplex. just manhandling Tony St. Clair. Their leg is hooked. Did not even need the F5, and Brock Lesnar got the victory. Dominant in this match like he was dominant in the Battle Royal. Two 1980s legends going one-on-one. Both happen to have a 1-1 record here in Fire Pro Wrestling World, or Fire Pro Wrestling. I guess I could say world. We got Jake the Snake Roberts going up against here Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Both these men are here in Fire Pro because they want to see if they still have what it takes. Oh, this could be a quick victory here for the Superfly. No, Jake the Snake kicks out. He's going to do it again. Oh, what a count, referee. Both men were clearly in the ropes. You know, Snuka recently went over Johnny Rodz, whereas Jake Roberts had defeated Special Delivery Jones, but this is going to be another test. Two superstars, two legends. A Superfly splash for the third time. You know, Jake the Snake might be done already. Nope. Third time is not the charm. Now I wonder if Jake were to hit that DDT there on Jimmy Snuka, would that be enough to put him down for the count? Or is, the man from Fiji going to have a thick enough skull that he can endure it? I remember when Roddy Piper broke a coconut over his head. You know, we have legends here in Fire Pro Wrestling, but we do not discriminate. We'll bring older wrestlers, legends, modern wrestlers, men, women from all over the world. If there's somebody you want to see, all you got to do is petition there, whether in the live Twitch chat or in the comment section below these championship wrestling or special supercard events. Got a strike exchange here. Looks like Roberts got the best of it. Nice reversal. Sends a Superfly outside of the ring. Referee is going to start administering his count. But Snuka gets in at 2. Lateral press. Not enough. You would think, oh, now he's got his own punches. He's moving around, too, hitting them from all different angles. A fourth Superfly splash. This must be it. No! Superfly spamming those finishers and not able to get the pinfall. Oh, Jake going for his own now. Forearms is brushing up against the bridge of the nose, using that bone. Oh, this time the referee wants to break up the pin. Okay. I don't know why they call that kitchen sink, kitchen sink. Both men are just going for pins right now. All it takes is for you to stun your opponent just enough for the referee to make a 3 count. That's the 6th splash. And despite Jake the Snake Roberts' feet being under the ropes, the referee makes the count. And that's going to be it for this edition of Championship. No, the match is over. Match is over. I'm Benoit signing off. Till next time, keep on simming.